Now, this might step on some people's toes, but let me say this. If it don't apply, let it fly. However, if it does activate something in you, that is a message from within. Now, I'm going to talk about Christianity a bit, and I'm specifically going to talk about my experience. Now, I believe that everything has truth to it. Everything. Every religion, everybody's belief, I believe it has truth to it. I don't believe it's the absolute truth, but I do believe it has truth to it. So let me say that straight up and down. I think that the Bible has great information in it to support us in our human experience. I believe that whatever religion you choose in this lifetime is the religion for you, is a religion for your soul. I don't believe that there's a one size fits all for anyone. I believe that you get exactly what you need in this lifetime for your unique experience as a human. I don't think we're all here to have the same experience, to be the same as that person, to run by the same rules. I know a lot of people get annoyed by that, but that's just what it is. That's just the world I live in, okay? Take it for what it is. However, I have noticed that when people aren't really grounded in their belief about their Christian experience or their idea of God or their idea of how you have to behave in this life according to the Bible, that when you ask them questions about the Bible, when you ask them questions about Jesus Christ, when you ask them questions about Christmas, when you ask them questions about Easter, when you ask them questions about certain things, they get defensive. They take it very personal. Now, when someone gets defensive when I ask questions, to me, that lets me know that something within you is uncomfortable. That something about what I'm saying does not resonate with your truth or your beliefs or what you say you believe in. I think that a lot of people do have questions about the Bible and do have questions about Jesus Christ and do have questions about the walk, but they are too afraid to ask because this is just what it says. This is just what God says, right? It's always like, it's just what it is. And it's like, is it? My thing is that another human wrote the Bible. So as long as a human is a part of anything, I'm like, right? Because your interpretation of something and my interpretation of something may not be the same interpretation, right? How you get the message from the divine and how I get the message may sound very similar because the words we use due to the cultures we're a part of, the background we come from, and all these other things. I say that to say this. When people get defensive about you asking questions, you being curious about their beliefs, or you being curious about what they say to be true, a lot of times, in my opinion, it's because they don't fully believe it or they don't fully understand it. They are afraid that something that they discover from your questioning, from you poking through, will interrupt their groundedness, right? Will interrupt their world. I had a friend that once asked me when I was back in, when I was identified as a Christian, and I probably still do. I don't know. I really don't care about labels. I just believe what I believe, and I believe everything. I take a little bit from every religion. Hinduism is like, I go hard for it. The beliefs and the way they see God. Okay, anywho. I had a friend one day tell me, well, what if you were to find out that God isn't real? What if I was to tell you that none of that is true? And I just struck my shoulders. I was like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, it won't make or break me because I'm not fully committed to it. Like, I'm not fully all in. Like, I'm still exploring. I'm still considering. And when he asked that question, and I started paying attention to when I questioned other Christians, and I saw how defensive they would get, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's because their whole foundation of their humanness, of their beliefs, is created on this belief that there is a God, right? On this belief that there's a heaven and hell, right? This idea that you have to live a certain way in order to get to heaven or hell, whatever, right? This idea that Jesus Christ is God, or however they see it, right? Jesus died for your sins, right? Like, their life that is the foundation of their life. And so if you poke at that and they find that not to be true, what will happen then? What will their life look like then? How will that impact their life? A lot of times we don't want to explore or question things because it will rock the world we live in. It will rock our belief about life. It will rock our expectations about life. It will it will tell us that a lot of things that we believe to be true just isn't true. They aren't facts. And so I think a lot of times people are afraid of what they might discover if they question things. They are afraid of what they might discover if they can't answer certain questions, or they're afraid of what they might discover if they find something else to be true and contradictory to what they believe to be true. So I say that, right, I'm going on a whole journey, and the whole thing is just like, people are afraid of the truth because it's going to rock everything they have been told is. When they realize that life is not what they've been told it is, what then? What will they stand on? What will their life be grounded on? What would their beliefs be grounded on? How will they move forward? It's scary. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But I feel like a lot of times that is what people fear. They fear being exposed to the truth. They fear that what they believe to be true may not be true. And how will that impact their life? How will that impact how they're moving around? How will that impact their reality?